Morning. We gather in this sacred space made most sacred in this moment by the presence and attention of each and every one of us. I now invite those of us gathered in this sanctuary to greet our live stream participants by turning and waving at the camera in the front right side of the sanctuary. For those in the sanctuary, let's take a moment to greet one another. Morning again, and welcome to the Winchester Unitarian Society. My name is Ivan Correa, and I will be your worship associate this morning. Karl Barth captures this month's theme of embracing possibility when he writes, "Though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending." I love reading scripture, of course, and I have this one passage from Isaiah 43, verses 18 to 19, that puts it very poetically. "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." At Winchester Unitarian Society, our services are designed to help us notice and welcome that new thing. Through space, ritual, hymns, reading, and improvisation, we create room to pause and meditate even for a moment on the transcendent, the sublime, and the other. At this gathering, we welcome all people and affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Guided by justice, equity, and compassion, we draw inspiration from many, many sources and encourage each person to express their own spiritual path while learning together. This morning, we are delighted to welcome the Reverend Darrick Jackson, who serves as the Ministerial Credentialing Director at the UUA. Reverend Darrick is also a contributing author to Centering, Navigating Race, Authenticity, and Power in Ministry. He is active in DRUM, the UU Ministry for People of Color, and also serves as a treasury for Healing Moments, a ministry supporting caregivers of people with Alzheimer's. Reverend Darrick is currently pursuing his doctorate in ministry in theology and the arts at the United Theological Seminary of the Twin Cities. He and his husband, Dr. James Olson, live with their two cats, Merlin and Morgana. And I also discovered he was a former neighbor of Liz and John. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome. After the service, there will be light refreshments in the Sims room back there behind the sanctuary. This is an opportunity to connect and deepen our sense of community. And I have just one small announcement, and that is there will be a meeting of the Membership Growth Task Force at noon in the Mickelson room. This meeting is open to all, and all are invited. I now invite you to open your hearts and mind in the spirit of worship as Reverend Darrick shares the invocation.
River call. Between rocking the boat and sitting down, between stirring things up and peaceably going along, we find ourselves here in community. Each called from many different journeys, many different life paths onto this river road. Some are here because the rocking of the boat has been too much. Too much tumult, too much uncertainty, too much pain. Some are here with questions about where the boat is even going, how best to steer it, where the journey ends. Others are here as lovers of the journey, lovers of life itself. Here in front, beside, behind, each a passenger, each a captain, doing the best we can. Rest here in your boat with me, the river calls. Listen to how I flow, the sound of life coursing all around you. Let the current hold you. Let the current guide you. The river that gently flows through your soul whispers, "Come, let us worship."
We have Timothy come up and light the chalice. Are you ready, Timothy? And the words for today's chalice lighting is an adaptation of something that Reverend Darrick had written several years ago, and I found it quite inspiring. Our dreams can be more than whimsy. They can make the impossible seem possible. Much of the world around us began as the dreams of those who came before us. What dreams might we plant today for those who will follow? May we dream with hope, act with courage, and help light the way forward. If you could please rise to sing hymn number 188 in the gray hymnal.
Come John had me mesmerized again. Okay, if you are young or young at heart, please come forward for a story. Come on up, everybody. Welcome. All right, so, good morning. Today, I want to talk to you about something that you all and all of us do every day, multiple times per day, without even realizing we're doing it. It's a big word, improvisation. It means to react to a situation without preparing for it beforehand. So responding to, say, your grown-up telling you it's time for bed earlier than you expected. Or maybe your friend gives you a gift you weren't thinking was coming. So it happens to all of you, but it happens to grown-ups too. We're all pretty much improvising our way through life, through the world, through everything we come across. Sometimes we know in advance, but a lot of times we just have to respond in the moment, right? Does that happen to any of you? Where something happens and you're like, oh, yeah. Olson, it happens to you? Yeah, it happens to all of us, right? Yeah, I'll get to that. Hold on one second. So there is, as Olson is referring to, there is something in the world of theater that is improvisation, but they call it the shortened form, improv. Has anyone heard the word improv before? So actors do improv. Yeah, lots of you. They have to respond in an instant to another actor telling them something that's happening. So maybe one actor says, look out, the sky is falling. The other actor can't be like, no, it's not. They have to pretend that the sky is actually falling, and they have to decide what they're going to say in response. So there's a rule, and that rule is, does anyone know what the rule of improv is? The first rule? I bet Emily knows. All right, she doesn't want to say. So I'm going to tell you. The first rule of improv is yes and, right? That means that the second actor can't ignore the first actor or say that it isn't true. They have to say yes in their heart to what the first actor said, right? And then add to it the and of yes and. They have to say yes, and I'm going to respond in this way, right? So we're going to do a little improv in the form of a short story about religious education class. Now, in improv, just about anything goes. You can be truthful. You can be silly, mad, happy, loving, you name it. So let's have fun with this, okay? All right, so I have a story that I prepared here with some gaps in it. I'm going to read what's written, and I need you all to fill in the gaps, to improvise parts of the story about RE class. Remember, yes, and that there are no wrong answers. Okay, so I'm going to read the first part, and then you're going to raise your hand if you have something to fill in the blank part. Okay, and I have it right here. So, do you think you guys can do that? All of you? Yeah? Okay. All right, so I'm going to start. The RE class was getting silly, sure, but it was all under control until someone turned out the lights and yelled, "Shiver me timbers!" Next thing I knew, Ira. Everyone was dancing around, and it was really ridiculous. I like that. Okay. You ready for the next prompt? All right. Then, though it would make my grown-ups cringe to hear it, Otto, bounced on a trampoline. Wow, I wish we had trampolines in regular RE class. Okay, you ready for the next one? Soon the entire class had, Jeremiah,
launched basketballs and a whole bunch of bags of Doritos.
oh my goodness, launched basketballs and a whole bunch, is that what you said, a whole bunch of Doritos? Wow, it's getting messy and yummy all at the same time. I knew it was over as soon as Olson.
My teacher's baby, super baby, had to go potty.
Oh my goodness. my teacher's super baby had to go potty. Oh my goodness, we've got everything in here. All right, final prompt. Are you ready? It was really just another day in RE class where Timothy. Where it was normal as usual with no silliness. Okay. Yeah, that's not silly at all, the Doritos and the baby. Okay. All right, I'm going to read the whole thing to you. You ready? This is our work, our improv, our collaboration. The RE class was getting silly, sure, but it was all under control. Until someone turned out the lights and yelled, "Shiver me timbers!" Next thing I knew, everyone was dancing around, and it was really ridiculous. Then, though it would make my grown-ups cringe to hear it, now I can't read my writing. I bounced on a trampoline. Thank you all. Soon the entire class had launched basketballs and whole bunches of Doritos. I missed that part. I said "and." At whole bunches of Doritos. What a mess. I knew it was over as soon as my teacher's super baby had to go potty. It was really just another day in RE class where it was normal as usual and nothing at all and no silliness. Did I get that right? Because we do that every day in RE class, right? Okay. So we're going to go to RE class and have maybe not this much fun, but I think we'll still have some fun, all right? I invite the grown-ups to sing the children and teachers to religious education. The words are in your order of service.
Please join me in the spirit of meditation and prayer with these words adapted from a Franciscan blessing. May love bless you with discomfort, with easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you will live deeply and from the heart. And may love bless you with anger at injustice, oppression, and the exploitation of people, so that you will work for justice, freedom, and peace. And may love bless you with tears to shed for those who mourn, so you will reach out your hand to them and turn mourning into joy. And may love bless you with just enough foolishness to believe that you can make a difference in the world, so that you will do those things that others say cannot be done. Blessed be.
This is the time in our service where we light a candle for a joy or a sorrow that is sitting in our hearts. For those in the sanctuary, if you'd like a candle brought to you, please raise your hand. After the lighting of the candle, we will have a moment of silence, followed by the singing of the centering hymn 194, Faith is a Forest, in the gray hymnal. We will remain seated during the singing. This reading is chosen from God, Improv and the Art of Living by Marianne McKibben, Dana. If God is an improvising God without a master plan, improvising with us, then our tasks becomes simultaneously harder and easier. It's harder because we have to sift through many possible options for our life, any of which could be a fruitful path. And it's easier because we are freed from the anxiety over getting it wrong. Any situation in which we find ourselves is an opportunity to yes and. God's loving nature is unchanging, focusing on the best yes, the deepest wholeness. But God's action plans are multivalent. There may be many possible paths to accomplish God's ends. If you could please rise in singing. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the anthem.
My friends, it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. I was remarking to John that it's amazing that it's been so long for me to be here since I have known John and Liz for so long, and I've heard about this congregation, and so I am so glad to be with you this morning. We are living in a time of uncertainty. We are living in a time where we can't anticipate what is going to happen next. I feel like every time I look at the news, there's this new thing that I didn't think was going to be possible that's happening in the world. And we need things to hold us in these times. I think a lot about what it means for me as a minister to have the faith and theological grounding to hold people in this time, to hold myself even during this time. But I also draw on my background as an improviser to be very comfortable with not knowing what is going to happen next. These are parts of my life that I have been working on combining. And all the time, what does it mean to be a minister and an improviser? How do they work together? And finally, I decided that I needed to work this out in a dissertation. So you are getting to hear a bit about what I have been studying and working and what my dissertation, which will be completed this summer, please, is about. So I have been developing a liberation theology of improv. And this is bringing in the places of understanding of Unitarian Universalism, improv, and justice. And my question that I've been working with, how do they intersect? And what theology arises when we bring those things together? And so what I've come up with is that God, whom I refer to as love, is an improviser and is constantly offering us opportunities to co-create salvation here on earth in the form of collective liberation. So, to break that down a little bit is that I believe that we are dealing with a divine force, which I'm calling love, and we talk about love as the center of our faith. And I think that love is an improviser. It is constantly creating this space of possibility. That love is not something that is predetermined and has this guided plan. This is the way things are going to turn out. Love actually is trying to figure this out just as we are, but working together with us. Because love can't create salvation on our own. We are partners. We are working together so that we can create a world where all are free, where justice is the norm, where peace is the norm, where we don't have to worry about people being homeless, unhoused, hungry, thirsty. They all have access to education. This is the world that I at least know that we talk about, and that we are partners in making happen. Some religions have the idea of a God that's going to make everything happen, and that we just have to be patient and kind of pray, but we're going to let God do its work. But this theology recognizes that we are the people that can make change happen. That is we can't wait for a divine force to save us. What we can do is call on some force to inspire us to do the change that needs to happen. So I have 5 values that hold this theology: interdependence, mindfulness, risk, acceptance, and collaboration. So let me unpack those values. Start with interdependence. Mike Hogue, a theologian, often talks about that theology is not something we have, it's something we do, and we do it in community. We we often have heard the lyrics like, what theology do you have? But actually, theology isn't something that's just in our mind. It's how we engage the world. Our theology is in how we move through the world and how we engage one another. We can say all the things that we think we believe, but if we don't actualize it, if we don't bring it forward, then we might not really have that theology, or it may be more theoretical than something that is truly intrinsic in us. Theology is about interdependence. And improv is very relational. It's about the relationship between the actors and the audience. All are needed for a performance to happen. Although it is possible, it is very hard to do solo improv. Because there's something in engaging with the other actors that's co-creating and building the scene. And you can't do it without an audience, because the audience is offering us thoughts and ideas, but it's also witnessing. And witnessing is an important piece, an important part of the process to see what is happening, to receive what the performers are offering, and to register it in ways that the actors themselves will not be able to notice because they're not watching. They don't see it. They're in the moment. And so that relationship of actors and audience is such an interdependent web. And it's very controversial because we live in a culture that idolizes the individual. But this theology centers community. This isn't about who we are as individuals. It's about who we are in our communities. What does that mean? How does what we do impact the other? How are we engaging one another and lifting each other up? There is an improv rule, I shouldn't say a rule, but a concept that is focusing on the fact that as an improv performer, you are not, it's not about you. It's not about how much you shine. It's about how you lift the other people up that you're performing. We are serving one another. When I was taking improv classes, we had this routine before a show or before a rehearsal where we go around to each other and pat each other on the back and say, I have your back. Because it was just a reminder that we are here for one another. And that is what interdependence has us living into, that we have each other's back. And when we have each other's back, we can do many things. The next value is mindfulness. Womanist process theology reminds us that we need to be prepared to see the possibilities offered to us by God. In womanist process theology, it is moving us away from this idea of a God that knows all, but a God that exists in all of the possibilities and is centered on bringing justice into the world. And so God is constantly offering little breadcrumbs towards collective liberation if we would just follow it. And so there's this idea that all of these possibilities of change and transformation are out there, and we just need to pay attention and notice. We need to be mindful of what is happening. And part of what makes the magic of improv happen is that we are mindful with one another. We listen to each other. We're not in our heads thinking about what the next thing we're going to say. We are in the moment, listening, and just saying what comes up out of the interaction. Love calls us to be aware of what is happening in this present moment, both within ourselves and around us. if we really want to move toward collective liberation, we have to be aware of all the areas in which we are falling short of that ideal. If we can't notice where we are falling short, then we can't actually move to collective liberation because we don't know what is missing. We have to pay attention and be mindful. Improv is also about risk, the third value. We are constantly trying things without knowing if they will work. We just do it. So we become comfortable with failure. We look at failures as opportunities for learning. And if we are not willing to risk failure, we're not willing to risk success. We have to be willing to try and not be so wrapped up in, I've got to do it perfect the first time. We have to just try, see what happens, learn from it, make any amends that might happen out of our failure, because sometimes we may have failures that hurt others, and then we make the amends, and making amends is a thing that we do as human beings, and that's okay. But we have to be willing to try. We have to be willing to say, I failed, and not let that have you curl up in a ball because you had failure, but actually say, okay, now what do I do next? To embrace it. Faith is trusting that we will either succeed, or if we fail, there is a way to return into community. So we need to be willing to risk. Our fourth value is the one that people actually think about most with improv. It's about acceptance. And as we learned in the first story, there's the idea of yes and. In improv, when someone makes a statement in a scene, they're making an offer. And we are supposed to accept that offer and say yes. But this isn't need to be a literal yes. You don't actually have to say yes, but you're accepting the reality that has been set. But you don't have to agree with the statement itself, but you have to agree we are in the same reality. This connects, in my mind, to our universalist roots of acceptance of who we are as we are. Which doesn't mean that there aren't things that we can't do to change and to grow. But we are whole beings just as we are. And we are called to live into the best of ourselves, to move ourselves towards a vision of justice and peace in the world, and think about what that means for and how we act and how we engage. We need to accept ourselves in all of our perceived flaws, and means that we can work on things, but that doesn't mean that we are lesser than because we don't live up to any particular ideal. We are loved just as we are. Acceptance also reminds us that we need to accept others just as they are. We don't have to agree with them, but we need to accept that they are where they are at that moment. I think some of the times we struggle with people with differing opinions is because we try to start them at a very different place than where they are. We try to start them from our point of view, and they're not there. And if we can't accept that they are seeing the world in a completely different way, then what we are telling them that their reality is not real, and they eventually go into defensive mode. So we need to kind of say, okay, this is where you are. Now, how can we start to work together towards a common understanding? That This is actually some of the learnings I received from working with caregivers for people with Alzheimer's. Part of the work we did was teaching improv to caregivers so they could enter their person's world. Because someone with Alzheimer's is where they are. You can't bring them into this present reality. They are in the reality they are. So we need to join them there and then see where that takes us. And it might mean shifting things, a different understanding, but we can still have meaningful connections and relationships. But we need to start with an understanding of where we are coming from. The last value is collaboration. When you say yes, then you are responsible of adding something else to the scene. You are called to contribute in some way. That's how improv scenes develop. It's about this give and take of someone offering someone and they taking that and offering something else and coming up with all of these ideas. We don't get very far if our scene partner consistently says no or just says, sure. There's nothing to build off of. We all have a part in co-creating the world in which we want to live. We all have something to contribute. And if we don't offer that piece, then we are not allowing things to develop in their fullness. So we are all invited to give what we can. Love is inviting us into this possibility of collective liberation. And that we have something, we all have something we can give towards that effort. We can make it happen. And we are called to do so. Grounded in the values of interdependence, mindfulness, and risk, we can put into practice the values of acceptance and collaboration to create new paths towards collective liberation. This is done in partnership with the great improviser, love, who consistently offers us a chance to manifest salvation here on earth. I invite you to join with me in this grand improvisation to co-create collective liberation here. Let us transform the world into what it can be. Blessed be.
The UUA Disaster Relief Fund is part of a covenant between the UUA and congregations, between congregations who give generously and those in need, and with our community partners. Through aiding our congregation, their members, and their community partners, we are able to embody our faith and values. Currently, the UUA Disaster Relief Fund is offering grants to those impacted by Hurricane Helen. With Hurricane Milton headed towards Florida, we are now giving to the Disaster Relief Fund for a second week in a row. Our collection plate welcomes cash, checks, and you can donate electronically. Details are in your order of service and will be shared online. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received. Those who wish to do so are invited to join in the unison affirmation that is in your order of service. We gather not for ourselves alone, but to use our common power to build a beloved community within and beyond these walls. We create and reaffirm this covenant today to make justice flourish, to practice compassion amidst difference, and to embody transformative love. John is now going to lead us in hymn number 368.
I think, correct, the mic is blinking at me, so hopefully the mic will help. Let's stand up. 368, you may find you don't need the hymnal for this. It's been a long time since we've done it, so I thought we should just do a little rehearsal. If you join with me on the second part, that's the part on the bottom. Anybody can sing this. It goes like this. Join in if you can. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Let's try it again. Ready? 2. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Part 2 responds 1, 2, 3, and sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the faith within. Good. And if you feel moved by Darrick's remark to make something else up, feel free. We can have a little fun with this. Join in the part you want to sing, and I'll call out those little button words for us too. 1, 2. Now let us sing. Sing to the power of the faith. Now let us sing, sing to the power of the. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith. Sing to the power of the hope, power of the hope within. And let us sing, sing, sing. Be not afraid, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of love. Now let us sing. Now let us sing. Be not afraid, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the joy. Sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Be not afraid, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the joy within.
So before we get to the benediction, for our postlude, John is going to be playing an improvisation on a hymn tune. But we don't know what hymn tune that's going to be yet, because you need to suggest the hymn tune. So we'd love to get a suggestion from one of you on what hymn you would like John to improvise. Blue Boat Home. All right, I think we hear Blue Boat Home. Please join me in our benediction by placing your hands on your heart as we share in these words. As we go forward from this place, may we pay attention to the possibilities offered to us by love, working together, taking risks to bring about collective liberation, manifesting our faith in the world. Blessed be.
please read together the words that are in your order of service for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish the chalice. This service has ended, but our life of service continues. Let's continue the conversation in the Sims room back there.